Yeah, so we'll start. This game was played between William Steins and Gunsberg Isidore. This was played on 1890 World Championship match. So Steins was white. Steins started with the d4. Black played d5. White played c4. This is Queen's Gambit. If black takes it, this is what played in the game. This becomes Queen's Gambit accepted. And if he plays e6, this becomes Queen's Gambit declined. So Gambit means something offered for free. If you accept the Gambit, it is called accepted. If you decline it, it will become Queen's Gambit declined. So the game went on with accepted d takes c4. So white continued the development, knight f3. Black played knight f6. White played e3. So the idea of e3 is to target the pawn on c4. Bishop takes c4. That is the target. Now,
Sir,
huh?
there was a different move possible also. Queen from D1 to A4 would be a check and double
Yeah,
attack.
queen a4 check can be played, but in the queen's gambit, they normally don't bring the queen early. This choice is always there for the white side, but normally this is not preferred because uh, stronger players, they like to first open their minor pieces and then only they open the queen. So knight f3, knight f6, white plays e3. White is aiming at the pawn on c4. Black plays e6. Normally in today's game, people like to play this bishop g4 or bishop f5, and then only they will lock the side. Here black directly played e6. So in coming moves, black will play b6 and go for bishop b7. So you have to give life for each pieces. It's not that with one or two pieces you can win the game. Against the strong player, this is never going to happen. You need to utilize all the pieces. White played bishop takes pawn. Now this is opening phase. In the opening phase, you need to develop the pieces as quickly as possible. So what black did was, black simply gave a check with the bishop. So he moved the piece out with a check. So here white blocked the check, played knight to c3. Black castle, white castle, and black played b6. Nothing much to talk about here because they both developing their pieces. Now this is white to play. Soon the opening phase will come to over. Uh, you need to plan the things here. Normally in today's games, people like to play queen to e2 and then rook to d1, and they like to capture the center. Something like this. White plays queen e2. Suppose black plays bishop b7. So here, rook d1, and then slowly they move e4. Direct e4 is not possible because of bishop takes knight and then knight takes e4. So you have to plan the things, and this is how tournament today's tournament games will move on. Here castle, black played b6, white played knight e5. So here white is trying to keep the pieces in the center. White tries to have outpost in the center with the strongest piece there, knight e5. Black continued the development. He played bishop b7, and white played queen to b3. Now white is asking black a question. the question is that what you want to do with the bishop. Yeah, someone asked
I
something.
wanted to ask what was the question.
Yeah, the question was white played queen b3, and he's asking the question that question to the black side that what you want to do with that bishop. So here black took the knight, white took it with the pawn, and now black was bit uncomfortable because white pieces are attacking on the same line. He was bit uncomfortable with this, and he immediately kept the bishop on d5. He wants to trade the pieces here. Trade means exchange the pieces here. So he played bishop d5. White simply exchanged it. Black has two, not only two, it's three options here: queen, pawn, and knight. But black wants to keep one pawn in the center, so he played e takes d5. Keeping one pawn in the center is a good
Sir, he should
strategy.
have taken. Sir, he should have taken it with the queen.
So if you take with the queen here, white will play c4, and again you have to move the queen.
Sir, or even they can exchange the queens.
No, white will not exchange that. White will play c4. White will try to keep the queens on the board because
Sir, instead of moving the pawn, he could have attacked with the knight
okay,
because the
this one,
pawn was the only thing which was blocking it.
this one you are telling.
Yes, sir.
Then also I will do the same thing.
Sir, white will gain tempo.
White will gain one extra tempo. Tempo means move. This is why, and one more thing. See, all of you, these things are very important. In a higher level game, it's always better to keep some pawns in the center. Keeping pawns or pieces is good strategy in a higher level game. Here, pawn is best because pawn controls important colors here, important squares. Now it is white to play, and white played bishop to a3, attacking rook on f8. So black has to move. He played rook e8. Now it is white to play. Now the opening stage is over for the white side. It is middle game. In the middle game, it's all about planning. You call whatever name, by whatever name you call, planning, calculation, strategy, whatever name, this is the important time. So here white played c4. He is directly attacking the center pawn, and black played c5. This is a world championship match. Don't be in hurry to suggest the move, because when I was showing this game to other batch, immediately uh, what they suggested is d takes c5. This is complete mistake because rook takes knight. White unnecessarily lost a piece. Okay, imagine, see, you have to be in that state of mind. We are seeing the world championship match. Okay, so world championship match means so much of money, so much of fame, glory is there. It's not normal club or academy tournament or online tournament. This is a world championship match. Even though the game played so many years back, 1890 means how many years passed? 1990, 100, 130, 2020 means 132. So this game played
Sir, D-Tex. Sir,
132 days.
D-Tex. Sir, what happens if you play D-Tex C5?
Here for c5, d takes c5 is very bad move
Yes, sir.
because of
Then rook takes C5.
uh, this is what I told.
Sir, I thought you were saying C takes D5.
No, c takes d5. See, c takes d5 is also, I mean, not. I mean, white will not get much advantage here because this
Yes, sir.
black will exchange the pieces. Again, no way to play d takes c5 because rook takes e5 is there. So c4, black played c5, and now white played rook a c1. Now black played knight e4. Now again, don't try to play c takes d5. You have to watch the game properly. Here we are getting this knight d2. It's a knight fork. So you have to come, whenever you play the game, you have to watch the entire board. You have to watch the entire board. Don't watch just one part of the board. You will have these kind of nasty moves on your side. So rook fd1. So white played rook fd1, black played c takes d4. Now pawn takes d4 is the only move. Rook takes d4 means rook takes knight. White will lose the game. So for c takes d4, e takes d4 is the only move. And now black played f6. Now if you are black side and you played f6, what do you expect from your opponent? To move the knight back, right? But Staines did not move the knight back.
Yes, sir.
Staines did not move the knight back. He played c takes d5. Such a beautiful sacrifice.
So
No.
what?
Yeah, you will understand.
So-
You will understand what happens if black takes the knight. That is what black played in the game. You'll understand that. C takes d5. Black played pawn takes knight. Now this is, the queen is actually attacking indirectly on the king.
Sir, I saw that he will move the pawn in front.
Yeah, but for just moving the pawn front, that he did not sacrifice the knight. He did not sacrifice the piece just because he wants to move the pawn. That's not the reason. The reason you will understand now. So pawn moves to d6, attacking the king. Black played king h8. Now this is wrong. This is completely wrong because pawn push and you will lose the rook. So king h8. Why? I mean, black side sacrifice the knight here is because of this move, queen d5. It's a fork.
So Staines sacrificed a piece of 3 points and he captures a piece of 5 points.
Yeah. So here, even see you should not sacrifice because you can give a check. That's wrong strategy. Can you mute yourself? You should not sacrifice just because you can give a check. If the king is safe after the check, nothing you can get afterwards. So if you sacrifice something, you have to get something in return. Here white is getting 2 pieces. Now it is black to play, and what black did was black played knight takes f2. Now anyhow I need to sacrifice the one piece. Why not I sacrifice it here? This is why he played knight takes f2. Black was up a piece, so what he is telling is, okay, I will sacrifice here. If white takes it, I will save my rook from this attack by playing knight d7. Now I got that pawn here. The white king is not safe. So I am okay now. This is what black thought in this game. So knight takes f2. White did not take the knight with the king. He played rook d2. Here the correct move is rook f1. Rook f1 is more accurate. But Staines played rook d2 here. Now it's black to play. Black needs to save the rook. Between knight and rook, rook is of more point. So if you move the knight, you will lose the rook. And if you are sacrificing the rook, you should have some justification. You should have something to show. Here nothing to show, so it's better to save the rook than knight. So he played knight d7 and saved his rook. So white took the knight, and it's black to play. And black here played knight f6. Staines was expecting this move from the black side. He was waiting, black will play this. So when he played it, Staines immediately sacrificed the rook. Rook takes knight. There are two ways to capture: pawn takes and queen takes. First, let us finish the game. Later I will tell you what happens with the queen takes rook. Let us finish the game. Here black captured g takes f6 and white played pawn to d7. So here white is trying to queen the pawn, take back the piece from the black side. And black played rook g8, he saved his rook. And now white destroyed black pawn structure. D takes e5. Now black cannot take it because that opens the line for queen and bishop. Pawn is the only protector here. Even the rook is there. If pawn is lost, it becomes difficult for the black side to defend the king. So rook g5. Black played rook g5. Here he is pinning the pawn so that white shouldn't take the pawn or he shouldn't move the pawn. Both the things. But Staines is very, very clever player. Very strong. He played queen takes rook. Queen is of more point, rook is of less point. Even then he sacrificed the queen. So black took it.
Rook to c8 check.
Now white played a rook to c8 check. If black takes this, this will be queen. But here black played rook g8. Now white took this. Black also took, and now white played pawn to e6. That's such a wonderful move. The idea is that whatever you play, one of the pawn will become queen. Whatever you play, you think of this move, trying to come near to the pawn. Then I will play pawn to e7. Now you can think of any move. Let's say you come near to the pawn. Now I will queen it. I got the queen back. If you take my queen, the other pawn gets queen, and this is total win for the white side. So when e6 is played, the black side just gave up the game and white won this. So have you understood the game?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
is Steins a strong player?
Very,
Very,
sir.
very.
Very strong, very strong. Okay. So let's see one more game. Uh, here. Okay, this is better. So this was also in World Championship. Uh, the game played in 1892. White was William Steins, and black was Michael Chigorin. Michael Chigorin played two times against Steins in World Championship, but both the time he lost to Steins. In both the time, someone has not muted there. So Michael Chigorin has played two times. Both the times he lost to William Steins. Now, I mean, Steins in his career lost World Championship title to Emmanuel Lasker. We'll see his game also. He is also a wonderful player. We'll see his game also. But for today, let's see this game. So all of you first mute your headphone. Only when you have doubt, you want to tell something, then only you open it. So white started with e4. Black played e5. White played knight f3, attacked the pawn on e5. Black played knight c6, defended the pawn on e5. Someone has not muted. White played bishop b5. Someone has not muted. All of you mute. Monish, mute.
Where it's coming from Ritu.
So all of you mute your voice there. So bishop b5. Black played knight f6. This is Berlin opening. There are plenty of ways to play Berlin opening. Now in the game, white played pawn to d3. Black played d6. Here today, normally people will play bishop c5 for this, and then castle or direct or even d6 is possible. They don't play directly d6 because unnecessarily it locks the bishop. So here, when black played d6, white played c3. So this is flexible pawn structure on the white side. So normally in many openings you will see this pawn structure. Italian opening, Ruy Lopez. Even if you convert the Najdorf to somewhat Ruy Lopez structure, you will get the same structure. So g6, black is trying to open the piece on the other side. Now see how to convert the Sicilian Najdorf to Ruy Lopez. There is one trick here: e4, c5, knight f3. This is Sicilian Najdorf. Okay, so if you have experience in Ruy Lopez, what you can do is you can play this bishop d3. Let's say black played this knight c6, then pawn to c3. Let's say black played something like bishop g4 or knight f6. You can just castle. Black plays this. You can go here, or you can if you see, because the black side played this, you have to go back. This is the only choice for you. But if black didn't play this bishop g4, if he plays something like g6, then bishop to c2, bishop g7, pawn to d3, castle. Now look at this, the same type structure. This is what I told. You can convert the Sicilian Najdorf to Ruy Lopez structure. Let's come back to the game. In the game, white played d3, black played d6, white played c3, black played g6, white continued the development. he played knight to d2, nb d2. Now the idea of knight to d2 is to move the knight to f1 and knight to e3. This is the idea. The knight from here will look at the d5 place. This is the idea of playing knight b d2. Many players they think if they play knight d2 it blocks the bishop's line, but it's not true, because next move only the knight moves. Black plays bishop g7. Now it is white to play. So white played bishop to a4, first knight f1, black castles, and now white played bishop to a4. So the idea with bishop to a4 is that white wants this bishop to be here or sometimes here. That's why he played bishop a4. Black played knight d7. The idea with knight d7 is that he wants to attack the a4 bishop. White continued the development. He played knight e3. Black played knight c5, attacking the bishop. Now bishop to c2. Black played knight e6. From here, black went here, then here, then here. Black is rearranging his pieces. Now it is white to play. Now see how Staines started to attack. This is why I like Staines' style of play. So here Staines played h4. The idea is to open the king structure. The idea is to play pawn to h5 and try to open the king structure. If I am able to open the rook line, that's a good achievement for me. Now in the game, black played knight e7. The idea with knight e7 is that the black side wants to take the center with d5. He has the queen, he has this knight, so he wants center. But Staines did not pay attention to that. He just played pawn to h5. He wants to open the king's position. Black strikes the center. White played pawn takes pawn, and here black played f pawn takes the pawn. If you play h pawn, then probably the white side will play knight g4. The idea is to play knight h6 check. Next move knight h6 and then bishop h6 will come. So anyhow white side has a small advantage. In the game for h takes g6, black played f takes g6. Now white side took the pawn. Black took the pawn with the knight. That was forced move for him. So knight takes knight, queen takes knight, and now white played bishop b3. So trying to attack on the light color. It's forced to move the queen. He played queen c6, and now white played queen e2. Now this pawn is under attack. Someone has not muted. Don't keep your headphone unmuted. It will create noise. So queen e2. Now there are two attackers here. Just one defender. But if you take that pawn, the king position will get open. This king position will get open. So this is the protector for the white side. Until this pawn is there, black side cannot attack the king. So white is not interested to take the pawn. White is trying to open the pieces. Black played bishop d7. See, black is not caring about the pawn because he knows if he takes it, it backfires him. White is also not interested because he knows if he takes it, the position will be opened and it creates problem for him. Now it is black to play. Here in this move, black took some time, and what he thought was there is a pin here. So if I want to free the knight, I should move the king. So he played king h8. Now the development is not over, so white simply castled. He castled here. Now let us analyze the situation. See the white king and see the black king. White king is very safe, whereas black king is not safe. Not, it's okay, but it's not too safe also. Okay, because of this diagonal, mainly because of this diagonal. Now in the game, black played rook a e8, bringing the last piece into the attack, and it is Steins to move now. Steins is such a attacking player that he immediately understood how to attack and where to attack and what to do in this position. The only place where you attack is king's position. Other places are not relevant also, because when king can be attacked, no point in looking at the other attacking moves. King can be attacked because the white pieces are within the reach of the black king. So what he thought was, if he exchanges certain pieces in the center, this one, the position will be open, then he can attack the king. So he thought, if the queen is in the center, he cannot open anything. He played queen to f1. The idea was to open the center. Black played a5. The idea was very simple. White wants to open the black king side, black wants to open the white king side. So what black is trying for is to open the white king position here. Now what white played was, he played a d4, trying to exchange few pieces in the center. You will understand why he is opening the center. I mean, Chigorin didn't predicted that white will attack at such a faster rate. So for d4, black took the pawn, white took it with the knight, black took the knight here. White has two ways to capture the bishop. Of course, pawn cannot take because of the pin. Two ways to take the bishop. One is with rook, another is with the bishop. Here in the game, white took the bishop with the rook. Now black played knight takes rook. He just eliminated. This is wrong move. He shouldn't have played this knight takes d4. Instead he should have played rook f7. The black side is in lot of problem because of the open lines here. There are some open lines here, because of which black king is not safe. Now if he had played rook f7, white would be attacking the black side. He will not leave the attack, but at least he has some game left in the position. But what happened in the game was when the white side captured the bishop with the rook, black captured the rook with the knight. Then even bishop takes knight is winning for the white side. But what Staines played was he played rook takes h7 check. Now the king cannot go here, so it's forced to take the rook. Queen h1 check. Now this is the only place because the light color line is covered by the bishop. So now bishop h6 check. You cannot come back to the same line because then what happens is this is a checkmate. So when bishop h6 check, black moved the king to f6, white gave it check with the queen. Then see, this square is blocked, 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 only two squares. In the game, black played this king to e5 and white played queen takes knight, and he resigned the game because there is only one move, king f5, and white is checkmating the black side. The game is over. That is why Michael Chigorin resigned the game. Here, while explaining, I told you when knight takes rook, bishop takes, if instead of this rook takes h7, what Staines played was rook takes h7. If he had played this, this is the only move left for the black side. This is of course winning for the white side. If you switch on any engine, it gives advantage to the white side only. But the game is not over. You can continue the game. For some time, black will try to resist the attack. Probably he cannot stay for much time, but still this can be played. But what Staines played was wonderful attacking style. Rook takes h7, king takes h7, queen h1 check, king g7, bishop h6 check, king f6, queen h4 check, queen takes d4, and he resigned the game because of this g4 mate. So have you understood the game? All of you? Have you understood the game?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
So is Staines strong?